We will be recording this session. So if anybody has any issues, please do let us know. I assume no one has any issues. So Papa Ragaru, can you please go ahead and...
Yeah, we can get started.
All right. So the first things we will be doing here is I'll let Vaitu and Advait come tell you guys about what's the plan for today. But I think we need to have your parents on standby so that they can help you with the chess.com account creation. So if you can have your parents ready, that would be great. Vaitu and Advait, over to you guys.
Okay. Hi guys, it's Vaitu. And then Advait, if you want to introduce yourself. I think you're on mute, buddy.
Yeah, I'm Advait. Yeah, I'm gonna show you. We're gonna show you like tactics for 30 minutes, and then you guys can play like games for the other 30 minutes. But we're gonna show you like different tactics in openings and middle games.
All right.
And games.
Yeah. So to start off with,
Just a second. So kids, if you haven't joined us for the last session, we will have the recording of the last session available to you guys, so you can review that. But for today, we will go ahead and start with the next steps. Vaitu, sorry about that.
Absolutely, no, you're fine. So right off the bat, I know a lot of you guys have your mics muted, which is fine. But for the cameras, if you guys could turn on your camera so I could see any, so I could see your faces, that would be nice. It's kind of easier for me to kind of just speak when I see faces. Thank you, appreciate that. I see some faces coming up. Nice. Okay, perfect. So I don't know if everybody in this chat, so I see 20 participants. I don't know if everybody was in here from last weekend, but we went over the basics in terms of the capabilities of each piece and whatnot. So I hope you guys practiced, because I remember saying the last thing was that you should put certain pieces on the board and just play with them and make sure that you are familiar with what each piece can do. So I hope you practice, because today we're going to go over a lot of different openings and things called tactics, strategies, obviously to win faster, right? It might seem a little complicated at first, so that's why I want to see you guys' faces. If I see you guys confused, if I see like you're looking at your sibling or looking back at the wall, I'm going to know that you guys are confused. So please do not be afraid to ask questions. Questions are important, okay? Because it can get kind of confusing, and we will try to go as slow as possible. Today, Advait is going to take charge for most of the tactics, because he has a lot more familiar with chess.com than I am. But right off the bat, that is a caveat into who here has a chess.com, or better question is, who here does not have a chess.com account? If you could message in the chat saying if you have or if you don't have the chess.com account. Okay, so that's one person. I'm gonna get you guys one minute to answer that. So far, I'm just tracking that one person doesn't have a chess.com account. So if you have it, don't message. Just only if you don't have a chess.com account, message in the chat saying you don't have it.
Wait, I think I'm seeing some hands raised too. I have Shrita here who has her hand raised on the image.
Okay, I see. Shrita doesn't have
an account too.
Okay, so I'm gonna go right. I don't want to get confusing. So if you have a chess.com account already, that's great. That's perfect. I'll address you guys in a second. For those who don't have a chess.com account, if you could please pull up a browser. Okay, so I'm talking to the people that don't have a chess.com account. Just go to chess.com, www.chess.com, onto Google. For those who don't have one, and please register for an account. If you don't know how to do that, ask one of your parents next to you. It's relatively straightforward. I there's not much explaining I can do. So right now the time is 1:10. I'm gonna give you guys 8 minutes to figure that out. So at 1:18, I'm gonna double check, make sure everybody has an account. If somebody's having problems, please raise your hand or ask in the chat. So for those who said they don't have an account, please log in to chess.com and make a username and password. I'll give you 8 minutes for that.
And write down your username and password. Don't.
Yes, please don't forget it. Does anybody, while people are making their chess.com account, does anybody have any general questions? General questions? Anybody? No? Okay, just wondering. So while the people are making this account, I can explain what chess.com is. I also am relatively new to it, but I love it. Advait has been helping me get familiar with the website, and he'll be talking about it in more depth in a little bit. But this website will help us analyze and demonstrate visually certain moves that'll be easier for you guys to see. And we'll share our screen, or Advait will share his screen. So when he's speaking about these moves, you guys will be able to see that and be able to do it on your screen, on your account. And then we'll go from there. What time is it? 1:12. So 6 more minutes for those who are making an account. I know it could take some time, but try to wrap it up. And I'll explain. Advait kind of touched on it about what we're doing today. So today, the way the class is going to be set up, once everybody has an account, is first half of the class is going to be kind of like a lecture / teaching moment. There won't be much interaction. And then once we show you an opening or we explain to you what we're doing, then we'll go down the line and we'll have different puzzles for each individual person in the class right now. And while we're working with an individual person, I want everybody to be watching that. The screen will be shared. So Advait will have his screen shared, and we'll ask one person in the class, okay, what is the correct move for this puzzle? And then we'll analyze that. Advait will explain it, either Advait or I will explain it, and then we'll move on to the next person. And so we'll go down the list like that for the second half of the class. That way it's a little more pressure and a little more intimidating, which is good. But again, we're not going to do anything time-based. There's no rush in terms of how long you have to make that move. It won't be too complicated. We'll keep it very simple, and we'll move from there. It's 1:15. Does anybody need any more time? Does everybody have an account set up?
Can we write down the tactics?
Yeah, absolutely. I encourage it. Take notes. If writing it down with paper and pencil is the best thing this is the easiest thing for you, do it. It's 100% recommended.
Yeah, because I got.
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Give it a couple more minutes. Not sure if everybody has an account already.
Just raise your hands if you have completed signing up or you already have an account. or just send a message that you have it.
Yeah. So I'm assuming everybody has an account because nobody's saying anything, right? Okay, cool. I'm gonna give it a second, see if somebody has something to say. Don't be shy. Okay, good. Shruta and Shruti. Okay. All right. And then in that case, so for the people that don't have their videos up, is that because you guys don't have a webcam, or is it, if you could turn on your video camera, that would be nice. Thank you. 2 more minutes and then we'll get started. Because I'm pretty sure there's one person still making an account. It took me a couple minutes. And make sure you write down your username and password. All right, I'm gonna do one last check. Everybody got an account? Yeah? Speak now or forever hold your peace. Thumbs up, everybody, account, yes, chess.com, good, okay. I see a lot of thumbs up. Okay, in that case, let's get down to business. If you want to start sharing your screen and go ahead and open up with some tactics, man, we can get started.
Okay.
See if everybody can see. Can everybody see a screen?
Yep.
Is there anybody that cannot see a screen?
So everybody can see my screen. So basically the first tactic we're gonna do is basically attacking f7, f2. So the f7, f2 pawns are this pawn, which I'm hovering over, and this pawn. Here, let me get this. So these pawns are weak. In the opening, you might want to take care of them because they can be attacked from many mates. For example, in lead chess, if we go, this f7 pawn is very weak. So if this was white to move, white could take care and it would be checkmate. So you're gonna need to take care of your pawns. You're gonna need to take care of that pawn especially, because here this is like a trap. This could be in many traps. So in this game, how white won is called the Lego's mate. So here, this is a blunder. That's what yeah. This is not a blunder right now, but it could be a blunder soon. Because here, this is a fantastic move. White sacks their queen, but they'll have checkmate. So see, as black takes white's queen, white takes on f7 check, the king comes up, and white mates black.
Make
The
sure.
next,
So let's go a lot slower than that, because I know for a fact I see a lot of confusing faces. So when we're talking about each move, so is that before we move forward? So does everybody understand the E4, E5, NF3, D6? Does everybody understand the letter and number combinations? If you don't understand, don't be shy, because I know I didn't understand it at first when I first started playing. Okay, so yeah, exactly. So not really, because when you see all those numbers, it can be very confusing. So it's nothing more than just a big cross table. So if you could pull up one of the lead chess or one of the Do they have? Okay, yeah. Could you explain to them about the numbering system before we move forward?
Okay, so there's basically like 8 rows and basically also 8 files, which makes 8 times 8, which is 64 squares on this chessboard. So for so each
1 second. So whenever he's speaking, so you're right. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but the rows and files, rows are going horizontally, and then whenever we say files, we're going vertically, up and down. Files are going to be the letters, and then the rows are going to be the numbers. So whenever we refer to, so if I say D5, where is D5 going to be? D5 is going to be right where his mouse is right now. So does everybody see what I'm talking about when you see those? So you start at D and then you go up to 5, and then that's the square that we're talking about. That way, each square has a title. Each square has a name. So when you go back to chess.com, and if you could go to your other tab real quick, and they say step 1, E4, from E4 to E5. Does that make sense? Like it's movements. So it's just another way of saying this square and that square. It can get kind of confusing. So when you're speaking about it, go over that again, but go a lot slower because I know I see a lot of confusing faces. And when he's talking about blunders or interferences or any vocab word that you guys have confusion about, please just message in the chat, because the last thing we want to do is just talk about things that you guys are confused about, and then you just forget about it, right? So yeah, let's do that one more time, and then if you could go a little slower, so that way they have time to write down things, any notes that you say. And when you're talking about any blunder or anything, explain to them that this is a block, or this is a sacrifice, or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. So do you guys understand the F7 F2 square, like how it's weak and it can be easily attacked?
This is where yep. So thank you. So appreciate that. See, it's okay to not understand because I understand when he said that was a weak spot. You guys were like, huh, why is that a weak spot? And that's what Adv is about to explain right now.
Yeah, so these squares, you can notice that they're only protected by the king. So it's an ideal place where it can be easily attacked by, if we go here, the queen and bishop are mainly the two pieces that will attack this. There is something called scholar's mate, where this queen comes here, this bishop comes here, and you mate this guy in 4 moves. So
When you say that the F7 or F2 spots are weak, when he says that those spots are weak, he's saying that if the knight and the bishop cannot attack any opponent's piece that is in F7 or F2. Does that make sense? The only piece that would be able to attack from F7 is the king. Does that make sense when he says that that's a weak spot? Because now your king has to expose himself and come out to the front, and if he were to capture a piece that's in F7. That's what he means when that's a weak spot, because you don't have any other pieces that can capture F7. And then in F2 it would be just your queen that could capture, and then now you're risking your queen. So that's what he means when it's a weak spot. Sorry, you can continue. I don't mean to keep interrupting you.
it's okay.
Go ahead. So someone had a question?
Yeah, what are the moves in Scholar's Mate again?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'll just show you the moves. So scholar's mate is basically when white plays e4, which is pawn goes E and then on the fourth square. Then black does the same thing with their pawn. They come forward, and white actually moves their queen where usually the knight can go. So they'll move from queen D1 to queen F3. Then let's just say black does a random move, like moving pawn to A6. And when you're notating like this, you don't need to like put PA6. Like you don't put pawn A6. Pawns don't have a letter in front of the square. But queens, knight, bishops, and rooks do, and so is kings. And the knight is N, so it's not K, like the king. So then the bishop comes to C4.
Pause real quick of it. Does everybody understand what he just said? Well, with the letterings, it should be straightforward. So, king K, bishop B, knight N, and then rook R, right?
Yeah, let me
And
just
then
write that down.
and then pawns don't have letters. So if you need to make notes, you need to make notes. And I think something that we could do other is since we have the text box on the side, we'll have a text box of each opening. So if you want to do scholars, then we can say scholars, boom, and then we'll have the notation for it in terms of the letters and numbers.
Did everybody get this down? This KQRBN, king, queen, rook, bishop, knight? Or you
Thumbs
guys are still
thumbs up,
writing it down?
thumbs up if you got it. And for those who don't have their camera on, if you could turn your camera on, that would be great. It'd be easier for me to see, like, when I ask you guys if everybody's understanding. If you could just like give me a thumbs up versus messaging in the chat, it can get kind of claustrophobic. So I know I see Aishwarya, Sastra, Sanvi, Harshini, a bunch of people that don't have cameras on. So if you don't have cameras, that's fine. But just try to be quicker for us. Okay.
What's a rook?
What was that?
What's a rook?
The rook is the pieces on the end in H1 and A1. So in the first class, we went over them and their capabilities. These pieces right here can go all, as long as there's not a piece obstructing its path, it can go as far vertically and as far horizontally, as long as there's no piece obstructing its path, either yours or your opponent's. The path has to be clear. So you can go as far up and as far horizontally. So does that answer your question? Okay, sounds
Yes.
good.
Yes.
Cool. Okay, and then if you want to continue with scholars, go a little slower on that because I know it can get confusing.
Yeah, so our last move was the bishop on F1 moves diagonally to the square C4 and it becomes bishop C4. Then there's many ways to block this mate. So if it was white's move right now, white would do queen takes on this pawn, which is queen takes F7 checkmate. And to represent checkmate, you put hashtag.
So does everybody understand where he's getting the checkmate if queen was to move to f7? So queen from f3 to f7 is checkmate. And does everybody see why? Okay, thank you, Sanvi. And then if you don't see, so Sahana and Sai said kinda. So yeah, so kinda is because if once the queen takes that pawn at f7, that bishop that is at c4 is protecting the queen, and so that's checkmate because the queen covers everything else. And f7 is the weakest spot because the black bishop and black knight cannot capture that queen because they don't have that capability. So that's why it would be checkmate.
So when there is more than one attacker than defender, you can actually take there. So let's just I'll open a new one. No, not or opening explore board editor. So let's say this pawn was here, this knight was here, this bishop was here, and there was a bishop here. So in this position, black can actually take this pawn and he won't lose any material. Because if you see this, and this are attacking this pawn. And this pawn only has two defenders, which is this bishop and this queen. And when you're gonna take something, you wanna do it with your least valuable piece, so you don't lose material while you're doing it. So, for example, if black played knight takes this from f6 to e4, and if white does this, this is bad because you're just losing the queen on the first thing, and you don't want to take that back. Or I mean, you can with the bishop because it's equal material.
So
Since
Sanvi said, wait, Sanvi, what was the question? And what do we need to wait for? Is there something you're confused about? Are we on the second one? Yes, so we covered scholars. This is we're talking about attackers or double attacks. So did you not understand the scholars mate earlier? You got that one, right? So good, Sanvi? Okay. And then Sahana said, I'm confused. Are you confused about the earlier checkmate or the one that we're on right now? Okay, so right now he's just speaking about having more attackers than the defender. So if you want to back up of it, go back when you had 3 and the white had 2, the queen. So when he was talking about attacking with your least valuable pieces, because you can explain. I don't want to take your spotlight, but go a little slower for the people that need to write things down. But when he's speaking, look at big picture. You realize that. So draw those arrow again towards the pawn and e4, showing from the bishops. Yep, absolutely. So black has 3 attacking pieces, or 3 pieces that can attack that pawn. The pawn on white only has 2 pieces that are defending it, the queen and the bishop. So if you look at it 3-1, black is going to win that battle with 1 piece left over if white decides to keep defending that pawn, right? So if you do the math, black is going to win this battle right here. And this ties back to what I was speaking about earlier, is about like critical thinking about each move is a small battle. Like you see all these green arrows right here? You have to think not only one step, but 2 steps, not even 2 steps, maybe 3 steps ahead of yourselves to see what the other person is doing. So that's what Advait was talking about earlier in terms of like defending and attacking. So Advait, I'm sorry, but you can go ahead, bro.
Yeah, so take in with your least valuable piece. So in the last class, I told you that pawns were 1 point. Here, I'll just... you got all of this, right?
Is anybody confused about the value of each pieces? We went over that last class in terms of pawns, rooks, bishop, knights, king, queen, the point value. Everybody tracking on that? It's okay if you don't know. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so go if you could write it down in a text box. Point value.
Did they get all of this?
Is there anybody that still needs a text box on the side right now? We're gonna go over the point system real quick because it's important to know which pieces are valuable in terms of sacrificing. So yeah, Advait, you can go ahead and get rid of that text box and just add the point system. I apologize if we were going too fast. We're trying to get as many openings in as possible because we're really cutting short on time as well. But I like the questions. Do not be afraid to ask questions. There's no point in moving forward if you guys don't understand what we're talking about. So while he's typing that in, does anybody have any questions about the ranges of the pieces? Because I don't know if everybody was here last weekend, but does anybody not know what a certain piece can move to? So the numbers are the point values. That's just like saying which pieces are valuable than the others. So like your pawn is your lowest valuable piece, and then your queen is your most valuable piece. Shrita. But in terms of my past question, everybody knows how the pieces move, right? Because that's the most important part, if we're being honest. Okay, so then we can keep moving forward while he does that. And what Advait is typing in now is in reference to the moves that's on the board right now. So when he spoke earlier about, so if that knight in f6 were to take the pawn that's in e4, you wouldn't want to use your queen to attack that knight because your queen is more valuable than the bishop that's in d3, white d3, right? So that's why the point system is important, because it reminds you of which pieces not to sacrifice. Advait, go ahead, continue, man.
So if there's equal attackers as defenders, usually the person who attacks first will lose that battle. Since every time you take, there will be a defender taking back, and eventually the person who takes last is going to be left standing. So, and let's just put there was a king on this board. You cannot take here first. This is illegal because the knight can take the king, and that's illegal. You're just putting yourself in check. So you can only take back with the king if it's the last piece you're gonna take back with. You can't take it first, second, middle, or second to last. You have to take it last piece you have. Or if you can't take it, if you have a king that can take something and it's protected, you can't take that. So
Do we
did
want go ahead?
So did everybody get this where the king is the last piece that can take here only if the piece is not defended by another piece?
You want to get rid of the king that's in e1?
Yeah.
Anybody confused? I know somebody's confused. I think we should do some puzzles, go down the list with people, because we are kind of running low on time, and we could be here all day doing openings. So what we're gonna do is, if everybody could pull up their, or we could do it off your share screen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody, we're gonna start with the top of the list. I think Sanvi is the first one on my list. So Sanvi, don't be shy. You're just gonna be the first one to go. It's nothing too serious. We're just gonna do puzzles. Puzzles are a good way to keep practicing and seeing a different perspective. If you could get rid of that text box of it before we do the puzzles,
Did everybody get this text?
the point system. Okay, cool.
Okay.
So Sahana and Sai said no. Okay, is there any way you could bring that back? Control Z. There you go. Sahana and Sai, it's back on the left-hand side.
So Hannah, if anybody wants to keep that, just take a picture of it, or just take a screenshot of from your computer.
Yeah. Okay, let's move forward with the puzzles. So Sanvi, is this puzzle live right now on your screen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Arvid, you can go ahead and narrate that. Sanvi, look at the board right there, and it's white to move. And is this a one piece, Arvid? One step check.
Yeah, this is one move checkmate.
Okay.
Wait, from white to black or black to white?
It says right here, white to move.
Wait.
Say check back.
You have to move the rook on A7 to A8.
Are you sure?
Wait. Oh. Come on.
We'll give you another 15 seconds.
Okay.
If you feel like that's the right move, don't doubt yourself. This is the thing about chess. You can't let the pressure of other people doubt your moves.
Mm-hmm.
So make a decision. What's your move?
Last 2 seconds.
I honestly really don't know.
Okay, so the funny part is, I'll go ahead and move what she wanted to do. So
That's
the thing.
right.
You were right in the very beginning. So that is exactly what I mean. Is you have to go with your gut feeling sometimes, and if you see it, you see it. Don't doubt yourself. Like, you had it right, and then you doubted yourself. So don't let, if somebody asks you a question, don't get scared.
Good job, Advait, confusing her.
I did that to make sure she was positive in her answer.
Okay, so next is is that Nyanika? Nyanika? Did I say that right? Can
I
you
think
hear me?
Nayanika is just helping us, so
Okay.
Nayanika, unless you're following the class.
So this is, then I see Akshara and Keshav, right? Give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear me. You guys can hear me? Okay,
Yes.
cool. All right, Adrit, can give him a puzzle, buddy.
It automatically goes.
Okay.
So
Could you get rid of the text box on the side, left-hand side? All right, it's white to move.
Hello.
I'm gonna give you guys about 30 more seconds.
Wait, what did you say? We couldn't hear.
30 more seconds.
Oh, to wait.
It's white to move, so it's you have to move a white piece into check.
Checkmate.
Okay.
This is one move checkmate.
I guess. Oh, move the rook. Wait, which rook? From
And when you're saying it, use the numbering system as well, please.
okay. G4, the rook. To G2. No, wait. Okay. After that, how about this?
I like
G4.
it.
Let's try G4, and if you move it to G2, and move it to F4. How about this?
You're getting closer, but look at the whole board.
G4 to F4. Oh, okay. I gotta go. Okay. Here's my final answer.
You have
H7
the right idea.
to H7 to F7.
Okay. Good. That's good. You took back a step, and take a step back and always look at the whole board. That was a good one. All right, let's see who's next. We got, is that Sash? Sash, did I say that right? All right, what's up, buddy? It's your turn, man. White to move.
You move the rook from A5 to A8.
All right, we got somebody quick with it. All right, Sash.
So you get to do another move.
You kill the black rook. You capture the black rook.
There you go.
That's called a back rank checkmate, because if we go back to this position, these 3 pawns are blocking the king from escaping. Because if this pawn was here, the black king could come here, and there would be no tactic in that position. And if this rook was originally here, but it took this pawn. So white is checkmating black.
Go one move back. Go stay right there. And can you put so stop right there. And then it said Sahana Sai and Sanvi said they were confused. So Sahana Sai and Sanvi, are you guys confused about this particular move that he said from F8 or 5-8? And then, right? So you're nodding your head yes. Okay, cool. So if he moves that, when Sash moved the rook, I'm just confused on the moving. Right, so now it's white to move, right? So he's moving his rook from A5 to A8. So move that rook from A5 to A8.
I need to press this play button.
Okay, so go one move back. Move the black rook back. Okay, so
Do you want my rook to be on A8?
yeah, put the rook on A8. Yeah, so this is the move that Sash made right here. So Sanvi, Sahana, and Sai. So Sash made this move right here, and you see the 3 pawns right here? That is blocking the king from moving forward. So the king is stuck in this entire row, in all of the row of 8, horizontal row. That king is stuck back there. And so now the king is in check. And the only thing that the only move black can do in order to block that check is sacrifice, but block with his own black rook that is on C6. So Sahana, Sai, and Sanvi, do you see that? Do you see the black rook that's on C6? The only thing he can do now is move from C6 to C8 in order to avoid being in check. So this is what he does. He moves that C6 to C8, and once it's there, he is no longer in check. However, it's white to move. So white will see that this king is still stuck back here. This king is still stuck in this corner. And if the rook in A8 can cover the whole row, the only smart move to do is capture that black rook on C8. And now he still has that same checkmate. Does that make sense, Sanvi, Sai, and Sana? Okay, good. So now, good job, Saj. That was good. You were quick with it too. So, and then now it's Shruta and Shruti. Okay,
So
cool.
this is black to move, but this is not a checkmate. This one's not a checkmate.
Move the knight to from E6 to E4. Or no, D4.
Rita, can you be louder?
Move the knight from E6 to D4.
This, right?
Move the rook from E8 to E7.
Let me ask you something. Can this knight take this queen? So when you're going to take something, you might as well take the more valued piece. So instead of taking the rook, you can actually take this queen with check, and then white will either need to move the king or take the knight, and then you could actually take this rook. So basically, you're doing the same thing like you said, but you're taking a queen for a knight first.
Yeah, you should take the most powerful for the most part. Yeah. For our terms and services, yes. You have a better chance of winning if you take the queen.
So we move the knight from D4 to D4 to F3.
And now this rook is not protected.
So we can move the rook from E8 to E7.
So that was that one puzzle. That was pretty solid. That wasn't a checkmate puzzle though, right? Yeah, that wasn't.
Yeah, that was it. This one's a checkmate puzzle.
Okay. So now we are at Shrita. Hi Shrita. Can you see the screen? Okay, so it's your turn. This is a checkmate puzzle, so it is black to move. If you have any questions, just let me know. But take a second, look at the board, look at the black pieces, and tell me which one is the best one to move.
Shrita, you can unmute yourself.
A1 to D1. No, it got this one.
No, that was right.
Then you have to kill the queen too. So now you have to move the black one and kill the queen. So D1 move to E1. Move D1 to E1. e1 to e1?
There you go.
Oh, it's a checkmate.
That was good.
This is an end game puzzle, so I don't know if they can get this right.
Let's try it. Let's have a little challenge. Who's next? So I see. Oh, the guy in the chair, in the big chair. A cool sigh. What's up, buddy? It's your turn. So it's white to move. This is an endgame puzzle, so you have to try to win.
White's in check right now, so and you cannot take this pawn, so you need to move your king.
Okay. 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 G2 to F1.
The king's on F1. And you cannot take this pawn because it's protected by another pawn.
Akul, it's white to move. So you're talking about black moving.
Yeah, you can see here it's white to move, and it's showing you the board from white's perspective, or white's way of seeing it.
What is the question?
So here, if you see, you're in check, and if you see when I press on the king, it shows only 3 moves: F2, G1, and E1.
Okay. E1.
That's wrong, and I'll show you why. Here, you want to get close to this pawn because there's going to be 2 attackers on this pawn. So King F2 would be the right move. King G1 doesn't make sense because King G3, and for King E1, this pawn can promote into a queen. So,
Okay.
so therefore, King F2 is the only move. What Black did was they pushed this pawn and promoted to a bishop. But since the pawn's 1 move close to us, we can take it, and the puzzle is solved.
Okay.
Who have we not asked so far? So Sanvi, I'm only going based off who I can see from the video. And we're also, it is 1:58, so I don't want to go overboard. Is there anybody that is on video? So, okay, I see Anirudh. All right, did I say that right? Anirudh? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay, have you done a puzzle yet? I don't think so, right?
No, I haven't.
Okay, go ahead and it's black to move for this one.
Advait, is this a checkmate puzzle?
Oh, this is not. This is tricky. A little bit tricky. But
Okay.
I think you guys can solve this.
Take the knight from G5.
What?
Can you repeat that?
It's
Anirudh,
black,
can you be louder, please?
black to move.
Yeah, black to move. It's black to move.
Move the knight from E6 to G5.
G5. So he moved his rook from E1 to E7 check because it's checking the king. So what's your move?
Move the rook from F to F7.
So you want to move this rook to F7, this one.
Yeah.
So I want to pause right there real quick before either you make that move. So remember earlier when we were going over the second opening tactic about having 3 attacking and 2 defending that one pawn, and the 3 attacking that one pawn, and then the one with 3 attackers is going to win. And you have to think about your valuable pieces versus what you're willing to sacrifice. So this is where you have to think about that. So now look at your whole board, look at all your pieces, and look at all the pieces that have the capability of blocking that check, and tell yourself which one do you want to come out on top and which piece do you want to still have. Because if you move your rook from f8 to f7, you're sacrificing that rook automatically. That's going to be your first sacrifice. So it's like you have to look at all your pieces, which one is the most valuable to you, and go from there. So try that again.
So move the knight from G5 to F7.
Actually, what you said before was actually the right move. Because if you move knight here, the rook has the ability to take this bishop. Where if you move the rook here, the knight's defending the rook. So basically, you don't need to move the knight, because if you move the knight, it's an equal trade. You took a bishop, they'll take yours.
Okay.
So rook f7 is the move, and then they take it. You're gonna take it back.
Lovely. And then this is another one. How many more people do we have? Let's see.
This is a maiden 2.
Who hasn't gone yet?
This is a checkmate puzzle.
I think Sahana and Sai, have you guys gone yet? Okay. All right. Go for this one. So, Sanvi, let Sahana and Sai do this one real quickly. You guys are muted. If you guys are saying anything, I can't hear you.
Okay. What is the question?
So it's black to move. This is a 2-piece.
Two move checkmate.
2-move checkmate.
Did again?
It's a 2-move checkmate, and it is black to play. That means in 2 moves, black will win.
Oh, okay. Okay. I understand. Is it the buy shop?
It's yeah. So bishop, or which bishop? This bishop or this bishop?
That one.
Which one is that one?
Like the one that's right up.
Use the numbering system to explain
okay.
the pieces.
F7.
F7 is here.
So,
Do you mean F2?
Yeah, F2, sorry.
Okay, this bishop where? Which square?
which square do you want to move to? I think it's covering your microphone. Say that one more time.
F1.
F1.
There's
a knight there. You can't move it there. See these squares where there's a dot on them? This is where this bishop can move. Here, 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 and here. Let me draw an arrow. Oh, that just went.
To not that sure.
That's okay. So you said F. What did you say before? So you can see the arrows on the board, right? You can see.
Yes.
Okay. So now just think, if you move that black bishop from on F2 to F or to E1, is it doing anything? Keep in mind it's a two-step checkmate. So where is the next best spot for that bishop to go? If not that, does that make sense? How do I word this better? So
to like B3 or
B6. B6.
Yeah, B6.
so why would? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
So are you sure about this move? Cause okay, can I give you a hint?
Sure.
In this tactic, you're gonna make this white king in 2 moves. So you're not gonna do any waiting moves, which is not like a waiting move is a move that is not a check, capture, or yeah, it's not a check or a capture. That is what you call a waiting move. So bishop b6 is a waiting move. But for the first move, you need a tempo move, which is a check or a capture.
Sure. What about next to F1? Like I think like F1.
This is a knight, and this is a knight.
I'm not that sure.
Okay, so Ave, go ahead and make the first move, and then let her see if she can figure out the second move. There you go. So he moved his bishop from F5 to E4, and then in response to that, the white moved his queen from F6 to F3. So now the next step has to be check. So where would you move from there?
The next move, it's supposed to be a checkmate. So it's obviously going to be a check. So you already know that is going to be a check. And you're already in check. So that leaves you with one option. That means taking the queen with check.
Should be which number?
F3.
Okay.
But with what piece?
With 3. I'm not that sure.
So look at the bishop on E4 and tell me if it could capture that queen.
Yeah, I think it can capture.
Are you sure?
Yes.
So Ozzy, if you want to go ahead and put that move, see what it says.
What did she say again?
She wants to do E4 to E3. I mean, E4 to F3. But
That was correct.
is it possible to go back? Because I feel like she was kind of confused on that.
Yeah.
I'll go back. Let me just hide this so that I can go back. Yeah, so this was the position. Oh, was this? No, this was the wrong position. Yeah, because
then the bishop moved.
This knight was here. Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, so the knight went back.
Yeah.
So it's leaving this square behind. this square. So when the knight goes back, it's leaving this square, and this, not that square, or not this square. So it's basically just leaving this square. So sometimes in tactics, this is called a blunder because you are just blundering checkmate in 2 moves. So from the knight controlling this square, it went back and it's not controlling this square. That means this move is available. So in this thing, you need to see all the checks in this position. And there is only one check, which is bishop here. And then in this position, you have the chance either to take or move your king back. Because you cannot take this because that's illegal. Because the 2 kings are 1 square away from each other. There should be a barrier between them. Oh, let me just... This barrier should be between 2 kings. So that leaves you with only one opportunity to mate the enemy's king in 1 move. So bishop takes the queen is mate.
Okay.
Lovely. So who else? I know you said Shruta and Shruti. My sister has not had a turn. Okay. I think we're gonna. Mr. Suresh, how are we doing on time?
Oh, I think we are about 12 minutes. 12
Okay.
minutes
So I'm
over.
gonna. So is it Shruta or Shruti that didn't get a turn? Who didn't get a turn? Shruti.
I think Anul's side didn't get one.
Is there any? Is there any?
Wait,
So
what?
you're saying so Shruti you didn't
Akul,
get a turn?
I don't think Akul's side got one. Or
A cool one.
I did.
oh, you did? Oh, okay.
So Shruti, go ahead and do this one. Black to move.
Is this a checkmate move or is this?
This one is not a checkmate, but you'll get a queen in this. So you're gonna get a queen in this position.
Okay, don't be shy. You have to speak up a little bit. I can't hear you. Did you say H3 to G2?
Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
Oh, I thought they would make some more moves.
Yeah, that was a quick one.
Are we doing one more?
I just want to make sure everybody got a turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we're going a little overboard on time. So before we wrap up, I want everybody to I want to apologize for not being able to cover a lot more openings because they do get a lot. There's a lot more and they get very complicated. So I didn't want to overwhelm you guys, or neither me or Advit didn't want to overwhelm you guys because that's a lot of practice. And and that comes with time, but that can be done with chess.com in terms of puzzles. So you know what I said earlier last class was like play with certain pieces on the board. This website does it for you. But I hope everybody got a chance to, just at least try it out for the first time, if not a couple times. But yes, do you need anything to say?
And if you have any questions about anything, like you can either like come to us on chess.com, our usernames. I'll just type it.
Yeah, type our usernames in. That's a good idea.
Let
If
me
you
stop
if you guys write down our usernames, you can anytime you're on chess.com, you can just message us or invite us to a game, and I'll play a game of chess whenever you guys
Wait,
want.
what's
You
my
just have,
username?
and then
Okay.
mine is
Hey, Advait and Vaitu, just go ahead and say it on the verbally, so it can be recorded. So people who didn't attend or
Oh
anything,
yeah.
they can easily get it.
so my username for chess.com is Vaitu8788. That's VYTHU 8788. So anytime you want to play either play a game, any questions about any puzzles, I'll be more than happy to play, and we could do it at any time of the day. You just have to like let me know because I can do this from my phone, so it's super easy for me to do it. You just have to give me a heads up, but that's my username. And then other
So my username is Adnire. Capital A D capital N A I R. So I'm usually on chess.com maybe like 1 hour, 2 hours a day. When I'm available, you can challenge me to any time control, and if I'm not busy, I'll accept it.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Just wanted to thank you guys, thank you both, Vaitu and Advait, for helping us out with conducting this chess camp. I also want to thank a few other folks here who are assisting us in the background, Harshini, Harshita, and Nayanika, and Lata Garu for her help as well. I'm just going to give Lata Garu a couple of minutes to talk, to thank everyone, and then advise about the next set of events that are coming up. So that way the kids and the parents can know about the next set of events. Lata Garu, can you please take over?
Hello, everybody. I hope all of you have enjoyed and learned something new out of this summer camp. And thank you all for helping us out. We have some upcoming events that are oriented towards youth, and we have one COVID-19 fundraiser. It is musical night, TAJA musical night, which is going to be on Saturday, August 8th. So there is a flyer that is being circulated. Please do watch out for it and support. All the funds are going to be donated towards COVID-19 first responders. And there is Make My Own Ganesha on August 21st, where kids get to make their own Ganesha to celebrate the Ganesh Chaturthi on August 22nd. There is also a flyer that is being circulated, so please do watch out. And we have TAJA Entrepreneurs Day on August 22nd. And we have TAJA Telugu Bhasha Dinotsavam on August 29th. And for the people, kids or parents who have not gotten a chance to renew your membership yet, please do so. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Lata Garu. Thank you, Vaitu, and thank you, Advait, just once more, just for your help. We really appreciate it. And also the kids who had joined the summer camp for the astronomy, there's a special event that's happening right now where the astronauts who went to the International Space Station are coming back to the Earth. So if you get a chance, go ahead, log into various websites, spacex.com or YouTube, and you can see the scientists coming back in the SpaceX vehicle from International Space Station to Earth. It's a great one. So go ahead and take that opportunity and look it up. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everyone. You guys have you guys have a good weekend.
everybody have a good weekend. Hope
Thank you,
have a good
Vaitu.
weekend.
Thank you, Advait, again.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.